Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Is it better to exchange currency in your home country and then take it with you to the destination? Or are you better off just flying to the destination and then withdrawing money once you are there from an ATM? Which of the two is the cheapest? In today's video, we will be looking precisely at that, which I feel like it's something very relevant if you want to try to spend as little as possible. Also, I must add that at least when checking it for banks in Spain, the rates that they were charging, it was not easy at all to find the information. I feel like they tried to hide very well the fees that they charge. But with that said, let's not waste any more time and let's get right into my findings. To do this, let's use as example that we live in Spain and are planning on traveling for vacation purposes to the United States of America. First, let's check how much would it cost to exchange currency in our home country. In this case, we will use Spain because this is the country where I live at. And for it, I took three of the major banks in Spain: CaixaBank, ING, and BBVA, and I checked the exchange rates to exchange euros to US dollars on October 29, 2022. This was a Saturday, and since the forex markets are closed during the weekends, it would be the same as if we had taken the rates from the day prior, so October 28th. And first, with CaixaBank, 1 euro was equal to 0.95731 US dollars. With ING, 1 euro equals 0.96367 US dollars, and with BBVA, 1 euro equals 0.9544 US dollars. These rates are all different, but it would be important to get a base of what the actual currency conversion rate, the official one, is between euros and US dollars. For it, I took the MasterCard's exchange rate, which on that same day was of 1 euro equals 0.999906 US dollars. So basically we could say that 1 euro equals 1 US dollar. For it to be exact, we should be taking the exchange rate from the European Central Bank, but the reason I took the MasterCard's one is because we will be using this rate also afterwards when we go and compare exchanging currency at our home country versus at an ATM abroad. And also I use the MasterCard's exchange rate because it doesn't differ much from the European Central Bank, so I feel like it's a pretty accurate one to take. With it, we can see that banks are getting quite a nice cut, with their commission ranging between 3.62% and 4.55%. This here is just what we can see based on the exchange rates that they are offering, but in addition, it could be that the bank also charges like one-time fees for going and collecting the other currency that you asked for in one of their offices. As I said, it was not easy at all to find information, so it wouldn't be surprising at all if they would have other hidden fees that they haven't displayed in their website, or that at least they are not easy to find because I couldn't find them. Fun fact with my own bank, which is Bank Sabadell, and it is not one of the banks that I listed here in this video, and the reason for that is that I haven't even managed to find which were the exchange rates nor the commissions that they were applying. So through their app or their website, I could order for US dollars, in this case from euros, and I could place how many euros I wanted in US dollars, but they wouldn't tell me which was the exchange rate nor the commission that they would apply. So as you see, not transparent at all. Now that we know how much traditional banks in Spain charge to exchange currency, let's go and check what would happen if we were to go directly to the United States of America and withdraw at an ATM there with a debit card. The reason I'm mentioning debit card is because the commissions are usually lower with debit cards than with credit cards. And the first thing I want to mention here is that I won't be comparing this to withdrawing money using a card from one of the traditional banks we mentioned now, but instead with N26, which is a digital bank that charges very low fees. The reason for it is that if you are planning on using a card from a traditional bank, the fees that they charge also for ATM withdrawals abroad are very similar to the ones that we just saw now to exchange currency in your home country, but on top of that you would need to add the ATM operator fee once you are there in the United States. So in that case you would be better off just exchanging currency in your home country. However, if you use N26, the commission that they charge is of 1.7% of whatever the MasterCard exchange rate is, which is at least half of what traditional banks charge, so significantly lower. And you will be saying now, okay, and why didn't you mention N26 to just exchange money at your home country, so at the country of origin? And the reason for that is that they are a digital bank, and at least from when I checked, I couldn't see this service being offered. So basically the option that we checked earlier was simply not possible with N26. This means that with N26, to withdraw money at an ATM in the US, you should assume a 1.7% currency conversion fee plus on top the ATM operator fee. How much is this ATM operator fee? Well, I looked a bit online and apparently it usually ranges between $1.5 and $3.5 per withdrawal whenever you're using a bank ATM. If you use a non-bank operator, the fees are usually higher and can go up to $10 per withdrawal. For the calculations and the comparison though, I have assumed a fee of €5 per withdrawal, which I think that it's a pretty fair amount to assume based on the numbers that we have just seen. Now that we have all the information, it is time to go into the examples. I have placed 4 different ones, one assuming that you want to exchange €300 to US dollars, the other one with €500, €1,000 and €2,000. The reason I'm doing this is because depending on the amount that you want to exchange, it is better to do one thing or another. Or more than better, there is a higher difference between the best option and the worst. Also, I have set the minimum of conversion to €300 because many banks in Spain don't offer the service of currency exchange for less than that. For the €300, we see that the cheapest would be the option of withdrawing in an ATM abroad with N26, in which the whole transaction would cost us around €10.01, while exchanging in your home country, the cheapest bank would do it for €10.87. So a very small difference here, but again the best one being N26. For €500, the winner would be again the ATM withdrawal with N26 with total cost of €13.5 compared to €18.11 for the cheapest bank. Then for €1,000 and €2,000, the situation would be exactly the same, but the difference between the ATM withdrawal abroad and the exchange in the home country would be even larger. In the case of withdrawing €2,000, the difference between both options would be of between €33 and €52, depending on the bank you compare it with, which I think that it's a pretty massive difference. This again is with information that I managed to find, but if banks charge on-top fees for offering the service of exchanging currency in your home country, besides the exchange rates that we have seen which are much worse than the real ones, then the difference that I have shown now would be even larger. What is the conclusion that we can extract? Basically, that the best option is to withdraw at an ATM abroad using N26. And the more cash you want to withdraw, the more beneficial it will be to use this option of withdrawing at an ATM versus exchanging currency in your home country. I didn't mention this so far, but N26 is not the only option you have. There are also other financial institutions like Revolut, which offer cards or rates which are really competitive. If you want to know more about N26 and Revolut and all the fees they charge, the advantages you have when traveling and so on, I made a video not long ago. I will leave it linked here above and also down below in the description. Important to keep in mind, and something that I really want to emphasize, is that the option of withdrawing at an ATM abroad is only cheaper if you are using N26 or Revolut or banks that charge lower commission fees. If you're going to use the card at least from one of the traditional banks in Spain, most likely you will end up paying even more because you will need to add the exchange fee that they charge, plus on top of that the ATM operator fee. Personally, I also think that withdrawing money abroad is better in terms of convenience because you don't have to carry it with you throughout the flight and so on, and you are simply withdrawing the money at the destination whenever you need it. Also, I have the feeling that more and more cash is not being used, and depending on which destination you travel to, you absolutely don't need it. For instance, if you travel to countries like Norway or Sweden, they don't use cash at all, so it is absolutely worthless to withdraw cash or to bring cash to these destinations because in many establishments they simply don't accept cash and they only accept card payments. So with a debit or credit card, you are much better off. So basically, before going to the destination, check what is the cash usage in that country. Do they use cash or do they only use debits or credit cards? For you as a traveler from another destination, it is much better to just have to pay with a debit or credit card. Because for instance, with N26, to do ATM withdrawals, as we see, they charge a fee of 1.7% plus the ATM operator fee. But if you're just paying with their debit card, they charge zero fees, zero. So basically they just use the MasterCard exchange rate and they charge no fees. So it is better also for you as a traveler to pay with a debit card rather than have to pay with cash. With that said though, this is the end of the video. And what about you? What do you usually do? Do you exchange currency at your home country and then bring it with you to the destination? Or are you already going to the destination and then just withdrawing from an ATM there? Please let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed, and as always, see you next time.